Chala stepped carefully over the grime-slicked rails, his vibranium suit absorbing the dim, flickering light of the subway tunnel. The scent of rust, damp concrete, and something fouler, organic decay, lingered in the air. His acute senses, honed through years of training and enhanced by the heart-shaped herb, detected something unnatural in the silence. He had tracked Wakandan diplomat Wakanda to this very place, but she had vanished without a trace. Now he was here to find answers. AO's last transmission had been panicked, fragmented. "It's watching me. Eyes in the dark. Not human." The message had cut off before she could say more. When NYPD failed to provide a lead, Chala took it upon himself to uncover the truth. He wasn't a stranger to the hidden underbelly of cities, but this felt different. This was no ordinary crime. The tunnel ahead branched into an abandoned section of the New York subway system, one that had been sealed off decades ago. As he moved deeper, his boots barely making a sound, the sense of being watched grew stronger. He activated his mask's infrared vision. Heat signatures should have lit up rats, insects, anything living, but the screen remained eerily empty. That was when he noticed the walls. A slick, black resin-coated sections of the tunnel, pulsing faintly under the dim emergency lights. He crouched, running a gloved finger over it. Not concrete. Not metal. Organic. A hive. His pulse quickened. A sharp sound echoed through the tunnel, like nails scraping against stone. Chala rose to his feet, shifting his stance into one of readiness. The shadows moved. No, not moved. Something detached itself from the darkness above, slithering down the walls with eerie silence. A skeletal frame, elongated limbs, and a ridged, glistening skull. The creature had no eyes, yet somehow it was looking right at him. The Xenomorph. Chala barely had time to react before it lunged. He rolled to the side as razor-sharp claws slashed through the air where he had been standing. It moved with terrifying speed, too fast for an untrained eye to follow. The King of Wakanda, however, was no ordinary prey. He struck back, Vibranium claws slashing at the creature's arm. A screech tore through the tunnel as acidic blood splattered onto the ground, sizzling as it burned through concrete and metal alike. Chala leaped back, narrowly avoiding the deadly substance. The Xenomorph was wounded, but it did not retreat. It circled him now, slow and deliberate. His mind raced. The creature was a perfect hunter, relentless, without fear. A warrior's instincts told him that brute force alone would not win this fight. He needed strategy. He needed to become the hunter. Chala switched to stealth, using the darkness to his advantage. He silenced his breathing, his heartbeat steady. The Xenomorph cocked its head, sensing waiting. He edged toward the remains of an old service shaft, his enhanced agility allowing him to leap up and brace himself against the walls. The creature stalked forward, sniffing the air. Then, in a flash, Chala pounced. His vibranium daggers plunged into the Xenomorph's side, piercing deep. Another shriek, another burst of acidic blood, but this time he was prepared. He flipped backward as the acid sprayed, his suit absorbing what little reached him. The Xenomorph lashed out blindly, tail whipping through the air, but Chala had already vanished into the darkness once more. He was wounded, slowing, but he wasn't just here to kill. He needed to know where it came from, whether AO was still alive. He activated his communicator, sending a silent signal to his jet above. If there were more of these creatures, Wakanda needed to know. He moved cautiously through the tunnel, following faint traces of blood, human blood. A broken Wakandan communicator lay discarded on the ground. Chala knelt, picking it up. The casing was partially melted, covered in the same resinous material as the walls. His jaw clenched. If Ao had been taken, she was still alive, at least for now. The tunnel sloped downward into an old service chamber. There he saw it, a cocoon, pulsating, slick with dark, viscous fluid. Inside Ao. Her eyes fluttered open, weak but alive. Before he could move, another sound filled the chamber. A deep, guttural clicking. A second xenomorph emerged from the shadows, larger than the first. A queen. Chala's muscles tensed as he analyzed his options. This one was different. It radiated intelligence, moving with a calculated menace. He had seconds to act. He threw a vibranium charge, detonating the resinous structure behind the queen. The explosion rocked the tunnel, sending debris cascading down. The queen lunged. Chala dodged, using his agility to land near Ao. With a swift strike, he tore through the resin, freeing her. She gasped, weak but conscious. "Hold on," he whispered, lifting her over his shoulder. The queen shrieked in rage. Chala activated his suit's kinetic energy release. With a pulse of purple energy, he blasted forward, dodging the queen's outstretched claws and leaping onto a higher platform. The tunnel was collapsing. Chala sprinted, Ao in his arms. The queen gave chase, its elongated form slithering through the debris. The exit was close, a maintenance hatch leading to an abandoned subway station. He reached it just as the tunnel caved in, sealing the queen behind a wall of rubble. Gasping for breath, he set Ao down gently. She looked up at him, eyes filled with gratitude and fear. "It wasn't alone," she whispered. "There are more. I saw them. Eggs. A hive." Chala looked back at the ruined tunnel, his expression grim. If there was one queen, there were more. If a hive had formed beneath New York, humanity itself could be at risk. He activated his communicator. "Shuri, we have a problem. The infestation is larger than we thought. We need Wakanda's help." Static crackled, then Shuri's voice came through. "I'm sending a team. But Chala, if they're breeding, we can't just contain this. We may have to burn it all down." Chala exhaled. He hated needless destruction, but this was beyond reason. The hunt was no longer just for survival. It was war. The hunt had only just begun.